So in this video, I'm going to show you how to look up an image, proper image, talking about portraits. Uh, so if you Google a portraits that you're looking for, go ahead and change it to images. And no matter anytime you're looking up an image in Google, make sure that you have images on, and then go over to Tools, and then you go to Size, rather than using any size. Make sure that you click it onto Large. Portrait is only of the face and shoulders, and then usually you have all the values of the face. So you have highlights, you have the midtones, and then you have a cast shadow that goes in. You want all of those values within the face itself. You don't want to click on something like this because it's already someone else's illustration. It's called plagiarism. Just don't do it. So don't choose a drawing to draw. Start from a photo. So if you want to use Putin, by all means, find someone that inspires you. Now that I've already got my size limit set up, I'm actually going to Google Einstein because he inspires me, and that is going to be the portrait that I do. More or less any of these photos will be good. I want one of, you could go with the traditional, him sticking out of his tongue. It seems to be a very popular one. This one seems to be another popular one. You know, don't just settle. Look through variety, lots of the same stuff. So I'm just going to choose this one. Right click it. Make sure that you actually click on the image to bring it up because that is the larger image. Otherwise, you're doing a small thumbnail. So once you click on the image, right click the image to bring up this menu. This menu, you click Save Image As. Make sure that you're saving it to the desktop, and make sure you just change the name so that it's easier to find. And Einstein would probably work. Save it. I've already done this once, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. It's the same image, doesn't matter anyways. Now, what you're doing is opening up a new tab and going to Pixlr without an E .com/editor. You see it pop up here. That is the one that you want. Click on it, and usually sometimes it'll bring you to a flash page, sometimes it won't. This is what the opening page should look like. You're initially going to open the image from the computer. There's Einstein right there, so I'm going to open that one. Once it's up, if it's more than just the face or head, I always like to start cropping just a little bit. Makes life easier, limits what you need, what you don't need, and you just kind of get rid of all the unnecessary information. Now, you're really only going to use 3 menus. The edit menu, which looks like this, and in this you're probably just going to use undo. Anything else we could talk about later, but just edit, undo. You're going to use the adjustment. Under adjustments, probably the levels. This is where you're going to start. I'll come back to that in just a second. And under filter, you're going to use the Gaussian blur and the hope filter. And that is actually the order that you're going to use them. Adjustments, levels to start out with. It brings up and should look something like this. As you push these squares closer to each other, what you're going to see is my image get lighter, darker, kind of depending upon. What you're doing is you're kind of limiting the levels or the amount of variations, the amount of value between the lightest and the darkest area. So I'm just kind of bringing those closer together. That's close enough. It should be good. Next thing you want to do is send it through the Gaussian blur filter. If you don't send it through the Gaussian blur filter, you're going to have an image that gets really detailed. So to do the Gaussian blur, click on Filter, Gaussian Blur, and I just keep hitting cancel, which is why it keeps going back. So don't feel like you're being left behind. I found that somewhere around 18 or below. You really don't want to go over 15 somewhere around 10, 11, or 12 seems to be a good number. If you're having trouble finding it, just highlight the number and use your keyboard to type in 12. Click OK. That'll set it through the filter. Now the last step, you want to send it through the Hope filter. Hope filter will do this, and as you can see, you have some strays. Looks like some detailed stuff, but this will work for the purposes that we're going to use it for. Within the face, you have all 4 values, so you have the white, the light blue, the red, and the dark blue, all within the face. That is what you want. If you don't have all 4 values on the face, do Edit Undo and go back to what you had before. Edit Undo takes you back to this. Edit Undo all the way back to where you had the levels. You kind of see your levels. You could also click back and forth between your history, what you've done here. So levels I think are pretty good right here. I could probably adjust it just a little bit more than the Gaussian blur and then the Hope filter. So once you do that, you want to save your image. So File, Save. Doesn't matter the name, quality, under my computer, cool, it's all in the same thing. Click OK. Save it to the desktop. Change the name because you don't want to save over your original one, so I'm just going to add a 1 to it. Now that it's saved, you open up Edmodo and you go down to where you're posting the assignment. Scroll down, and it's right here, Portrait of Someone Inspiring. Go ahead and open that assignment, and whichever one you are. And what you're going to do is you're going to submit twice. So attach the original photo to begin with. Attach, open. Maybe you can attach 2 and see what happens. I'll let you attach 2. There you go. Go ahead and just attach both files right there in it. Both files will pop up. Hit Turn in Assignment, turn it in, and you're done. You have both of yours submitted. Those are the ones that you do, and next video will show you what we do next.